Oh, cool.
Yes, I'm going to read a shortened version of the fourth branch of the Mabinogi. And the reason I chose this was because my home village is actually in this story. I grew up in a small village called Mochtre, which, if you translate that, it's pig town or pig village. And it was always, you know, oh, you live in pig town. You know, it was not very nice to be told that and to have had me made fun of course. I never knew the history of Pigtown. I didn't know why it was called that. There's no history that I know of, recent history of it being pig farms, or a lot of farms, but not necessarily pig farms, until I read the Mabinogi, and here we are in my village. So this is an abbreviated version of this story. Math, son of Mathonwy, was lord over Gwynedd, and Pryderi, son of Pwll, was lord over 21 cantrefs in the south, namely the 7 cantrefs of Dyfed, and the 7 of Morgannwg, and the 4 of Ceredigion, and the 3 of Ystrad Tywi. A maiden was always with Math, but Gilfaethwy, son of Dawn, set his heart on the maiden, and loved her to the extent that he did not know what to do about it. When Gilfaethwy realized that his brother knew what was on his mind, he heaved the heaviest sigh in the world. "Friend, stop your sighing," said Gwydion. By the way, I should have mentioned that the stories were written in the 1300s. I forgot to tell you that. So it's knights in shining armor and all that stuff. "Friend, stop your sighing," said Gwydion. "You will not get anywhere like that. The only thing to do is for me to arrange that Gwynedd and Powys and Deheubarth gather for war, so that you can get the maiden, and cheer up, because I will arrange it for you." They went to Math, son of Mathonwy. "Lord," said Gwydion, "I hear that some kind of creatures that have never been seen in this island before have arrived in the south." "What are they called?" said Math. "Hobai." "What sort of animals are they?" "Small animals, whose flesh is better than beef. They are small, and their name varies. They are called Moch now." Moch is pig. "I will go with 11 men disguised as poets, Lord, to ask for the swine." Gwydion and Gilfaethwy, together with 10 men, travelled to Ceredigion. Gwydion was the best storyteller in the world, and that night he entertained the court with amusing anecdotes and stories, until he was admired by everyone in the court, and Pryderi enjoyed conversing with him. When that was over, "Lord," said Gwydion, "can anyone deliver my request to you better than I myself?" "No, indeed," said Pryderi. "Yours is a very good tongue. Then this is my request, to ask you for the animals that were sent to you in the south." "Well," he replied, "that would be the easiest thing in the world, were there not an agreement between me and my people concerning them, namely, that I should not part with them until they had bred twice their number in the land." "Lord," said Gwydion, "do not give me the pigs tonight, but do not refuse me either. Tomorrow I will show you something that you can exchange for them." That night, he drew on his skills and began to demonstrate his magic. And he conjured up 12 stallions and 12 hounds, each one black with a white breast, and 12 collars with 12 leashes on them, and anyone who saw them would think that they were of gold, and 12 saddles on the horses, and where there should have been iron, there was gold, and the bridles were the same workmanship. Gwydion came to Pryderi with the steeds and the dogs. "Lord," he said, "here is a way out for you from what you said last night concerning the swine, that you would not give them away or sell them. You can exchange them for something better. I will give you these 12 horses, the 12 hounds, the 12 golden shields you see over there." He had conjured those up from toadstools. They decided to give Gwydion the swine and take from him in return the horses, the hounds, and the shields. "My brave men," said Gwydion, "we must move quickly. The magic will only last till tomorrow. That night they travelled as far as the uplands of Ceredigion, the place which for that reason is still called Mochdref. The next day they pushed on and crossed Alenid. They spent that night between Kerry and Arwistli, in the town which is also called Mochdref because of that. From there they continued, and that night they went as far as the Comot in Powys, which is also for that reason called Mochdant. And they stayed there that night. From there they travelled as far as the Cantref of Hos, and they stayed there that night in the town which is still called Mochdref, which is where I grew up. Then, having made a pen for the pigs, they made their way to Math, son of Mathonwy, in Caer Dather. "What is happening here?" said Gwydion. "Pryderi is assembling 21 cantrefs to come after you. It is strange how slowly you have travelled." The men were about to take counsel regarding where they would wait for Pryderi and the men of the south. Pryderi, when he arrived, said, "It is only fair for the man who did this wrong to me to set his body against his, and let the two hosts stand aside." Gwydion said, "I will not ask the men of Gwynedd to fight on my behalf." "I agree," said Pryderi. "I too will not ask anyone to seek compensation on my behalf." Their men began to equip them with armour, and they fought, and because of strength and valour, and magic and enchantment, Gwydion triumphed and Pryderi was killed.